without responsibility. I guarantee it. It's about responsibility. And that's, to not be afraid of the word. See, I think responsibility, I think that's the liberator's word. Right? You want to be free, then be responsible. Right? You want to be free, then be responsible. I think that's the liberator's word. Because then we are taking direct action with our intelligence. Because, see, there's not anything wrong with us. How we perceive reality. But from this moralistic thing, there's not something wrong with us. We really need to be real to ourselves. We will get closer to synchronizing our balance. But the first thing is we need to be real to ourselves. We need to be able to face ourselves, because if we can't face ourselves, then, we should think about that. Because the other thing is, whoever it is, the coming generations, the Creator, whoever it is, if we're not willing to face ourselves, all right, then in some kind of a way, we diminish our respect for them. Because we are here to be real. But if we would look at ourselves clearly, the Dene will have a way of saying going to the fourth mind, which means to look at everything. But you rise out of it. You look at it from outside, from the top, the bottom, all the way around, from the inside. You look at it from under it. You look at it, a thing for every way that you can, and you see it for what it is. And then you act. See, and we need to understand to do that without judgment. It's not our responsibility or our right to judge. You can judge nothing without judging yourself. It's just that reality, So what's the trip, And it's already been determined that most of us, we've judged ourselves negatively. Through our fears and our doubts and our insecurities. So let's look at that thing about judgment. It's our responsibility to see clearly and learn from our clarity and our coherency. That's our responsibility. It's not our responsibility to judge and condemn. So in order to be real to ourselves, we got to be careful about self-rationalization and justification and these little things that pop up disguised as something else. We need to be real to ourselves. And if in our reality there are shameful things, all right, then don't lie to yourself about it. Because a shameful thing isn't necessarily really a shameful thing, it's how we perceive. But I'll put it this way, if there are things in our reality that we're not comfortable with, all right, then we should see it for what it is without judgment. And if we can't live with it, it will evolve out of our behavior pattern. And if it bothers us, but we can live with it, then it'll stay. And the things that we do good on the other end, the things that we perceive from that perception, see, everything should be seen exactly for what it is. Because it's also time to turn another thing that goes back into the spiritual reality that's been altered by the religious reality, and that reality is, see, life needs to be approached. I think, see, there's too much pride. See, and to me, I see pride, the way I see pride in some ways used, see, I think pride is something, I'm proud of you. See, I think it's something you give, but it's not something you take. Because every time I've ever seen anyone take pride, they take too damn much of it, and then they fuck the thing up. I've seen it organizationally, I've seen it individually. I've been the player. Right? So I think, maybe in life is really more about humility. See, we come from an ancestral past, a part of the genetic memory. See, where humility was connected to our participation in reality, and we were grateful and we were thankful. See, so many times, again, out of using the word as a habit, see, many times, all right, when we say, I'm proud, really we're happy. And wouldn't it be more clear to just say that? I'm happy, or I'm glad, or I appreciate it. But when these things that come from the being, the pride comes from the human, but these things come from the being. Because, it's these types of alterations that were done to us, all right, that keep us from synchronizing. And there is no answer. The only answer is that we have the intelligence and the responsibility and the ability, all right, to create the solutions to the problem that we're confronted with.